Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on June the 3rd, 2015. And, they start off the show actually rather well. I would say rather well. They were playing off of the aspect of, in the story area, they were playing off the aspect of what Tyler Breeze did to Adam Rose after his match with, after the tag match right before the NXT special. And I actually like I like the way they played off everything there. It looks like they're going with the aspect of no more rosebuds for Adam Rose, but they made him come out in a more serious light, like he actually wanted to go after Tyler Breeze. And I did like that aspect to the story. The match that they put on was a really good match. It was well timed out, well put together, good back and forth action. I liked what they did with this match. Of course, having Tyler Breeze go over, they want to put him over a little bit more at this point in time. So it was good to see Tyler Breeze again go over in this case, and it'll be interesting to see if they decide to go back to Leo Kruger or something for Adam Rose down in the future here, because it looks like they're finally getting him away from this Adam Rose type character, which obviously didn't work on the main roster. Let's see if they're going to do something completely different with him here in the very near future here. The interview time with Eva Marie, it was kind of okay. She's gotten a little bit better on the microphone. It looks like she's going to be down in NXT to potentially home skills a little bit more in the terms of maybe in-ring and on the microphone. Tonight's wasn't horrible. I like that she played off the crowd a little bit. Because obviously that crowd's not gonna like her, and most fans don't like her as it is. In the terms of her being around, that's because of how she's perceived of just being someone who's there to be a model, not to actually provide anything to the product other than being a look in any way. So we'll see how they play off of everything, and we'll see if this is an area where she is attempting to improve her in-ring skills so she can actually do matches and do other things other than just be eye candy for people on the camera. See if she can actually provide something else other than that. That was followed by Alexa Bliss and Carmella. I like the added touch out there of having Enzo and Big Cass and the Wesley and Blake out there, just to continue furthering on a potential continuation of the storyline between the two tag teams, and of course with the Divas being there as well, with Carmella and Alexa Bliss. Match relatively good. Good for a short match that they were going for in this case, and just also continuing on with that storyline in any way. So it kind of did what it needed to do there. It wasn't there to be spectacular or crazy good or anything, but it was there and it did what it needed to do. So it came off relatively good in this case. Next, you had the return of the Von Villains going up against Marcus Louis, which they finally kind of brought him back in there, and Jason Jordan's like a weird looking tag team mix, and they're kind of bringing Marcus Louis back in there and that character, that psychotic type character that he was going to with. I wish they would have played off a little bit more of that back when it started, because they could have done like a because they were trying to do some kind of like Phantom of the Opera type gimmick with them, and it would have been interesting back then. So we'll see if that's what they're going to do now in this case, or will they go in a completely different direction. It definitely looks like he's going to go into a more psychotic type of character, or more methodical. Who knows where they're going to actually go with that. But also bringing back the Von Villains, and oddly enough, they worked as a face. It seemed like they were working as a face team in this case, which I don't know. Well, Aiden English and him, especially with their team name, it works better as being a heel type team. But in this match in general, they worked like all the face spots, like one of the team members getting beaten down throughout the entire time, making the hot tag, and eventually getting the win in there. So we'll see where they go with everything and how they go try to develop those characters a little bit more. It's good to see the Von Villains back on there. and we'll see where they go with it. It was a little weird that they were, working as the face team in this case. So that led to the main event of the night, which was Rhino and Finn Balor. He had two relatively good promos. One with Rhino talking about how he wanted to try to get himself refocused into trying to get the NXT title, and obviously also they made an announcement for I guess a special that's going to be on the network on July 4th, which is a show that's going to be airing in Tokyo, Japan. And they, of course, announced that Finn Balor was going to go up against Kevin Owens for the NXT title. So that's how they made that announcement of doing the #1 contendership in there. You also had a relatively good promo Finn Balor talking about his focus in on Rhino and obviously going after the NXT title right afterwards as well. The match between the two of them, really good match. I liked what they did throughout the entire thing. Rhino's been very good for the NXT area, especially trying to put over the newer talent. I also do like the aspect that, they're trying to also semi-put Rhino over by him getting extremely frustrated by him, he's come in there, he's beating some people, but then ends out losing to like the likes of Baron Corbin and Finn Balor in this case. And so afterwards he takes out that frustration and gores Finn Balor on the stage so they can continue on a potential storyline between the two of them if they so wish. So we'll see where they go. Also go with that. I felt like this week's NXT was a relatively good show, pretty well put together. Things for the most part made sense with what they needed to do for continuing storylines and going where they need to go with everything. It was good to see the Von Villains back. Obviously the match with Tyler Breeze and Adam Rose was really good. So we'll see where they're going to go with Adam Rose's gimmick down the road here. Finn Balor and Rhino was a good match. Also, they did a good job of continuing on that storyline there, and of course the continuation of Blake, Wesley, and now Alexa Bliss going up against Big Cass, Enzo Amore, and Carmella being in there as well. So I felt like they did a relatively good job this week. It wasn't an overly great show, but they did a really good job of trying to set up, continuing and setting up storylines for the very near future. So that is my review for WWE NXT, and I thank you guys for watching.